y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and let's get into episode 4 of these Real Housewives of Dubai and the Rich People Problems. Episode 4 opens up with Talene doing one of her fitness boot camps, and she lets us know that basically she became this fitness guru, fitness business person when she moved to Dubai about 9 years ago. Because when she moved there, she had just her and her husband, and all they had is money and time, and he ain't had time for her because he was out working, making all the money all the time. She decided to just work out. She didn't have any friends. She didn't have anything to do. And that eventually parlayed itself into a business where she became this fitness instructor and she started empowering women through working on their body. We leave from Talene and her whole workout boot camp and we go over to Michael's house where Sergio and Caroline are trying to pack their stuff and move out. Now, I've been feeling bad for Sergio up until this episode because he worked my last nerve in this damn scene. They're supposed to be packing and getting ready to leave so they can get the hell out this man's house and get in the house that they done paid all this damn money to build. She said, listen, every room I go into to try to pack, this man is following me there. Why can't you go pack one room while I pack another room? She goes in the room with her stuff and he, honey, baby, honey, sweetie, do you see me packing this stuff? Honey, are you going to help? What are you doing? Honey, if you don't get your ass away from me. She said, would you go find you something to do? I'm over here on the phone trying to make sure that all of the bills in business is taken care of because everything is in my name. And if I don't make sure that all this is arranged, we ain't going to have no lights, no water, no heat, no air. Please get the hell out my face. And you know, I started looking around at everything in her name. She said the reason that is because in Dubai, you have to have an employment and credit history for at least 3 years before you can get anything put in your name, and he hasn't been there long enough. The way he's following her around and like always having to be in her line of sight, and you see me packing the box, and what do you want me to do with it? It's like he just wants her attention, and he wants to be patted on the head and say, good boy, you're doing a very good job. That would annoy the shit out of me. Go find you something to do. I mean, I love attention and affection and a little clinginess as much as the next person, but this was next level. It was almost like, what do you want me to do? Tell me what to do. Like he doesn't think for himself. Like he needs her guidance and direction and attention, and it's giving mother and child. And as a woman, no woman wants a man that she has to direct around like a child. Like you at that point are another problem, another responsibility, another liability. Like be an asset. Go find something for your ass to do. So now her and Sergio get to yelling at each other. Michael comes upstairs because they're still in his house with this bullshit. And he's like, what is all the screaming? What is going on? So she starts explaining to him in detail everything that she has going on, that, you know, I have to get through all of this paperwork. They make you go through all of these organizational steps before they'll give you the keys. And so I have to make sure I have this and that and the third. And he's saying, yeah, I know about all that. Sergio come out pissed off about, first of all, you can talk to me normal. You ain't got to yell at me and talk to me like you crazy. I'm a damn man. I'm your damn husband. You gonna talk to me like you got some sense. And after she broke everything down to Michael, he said, oh, well, thank you for sharing that with me because I'm the damn husband. I said, well, now he do kind of got a point. And I didn't catch the point until I saw the difference and how she was explaining it to him versus how she's explaining it to Michael. Because even she keeps saying, well, I told you I'm dealing with stuff at Ferrari, which is the area that they're going to live in. He said, yeah, but you didn't tell me I'm trying to do paperwork and I'm trying to do this and I have to pay this and I have to do that. You told him all of that and told me to leave you alone. Well, now Sergio's pissed off. She done told Sergio to off. You're like a gnat. Just leave me alone. Michael and there, but I'm not trying to be the husband, Sergio. I'm just trying to find out what's going on. You know what I really think the problem is? I think what it boils down to is Sergio is just another accessory in her life. Like her shoes and her handbags that she'll worry about once the important stuff is done. I really think he's just an accessory, that she wants a husband for when she wants a husband, or maybe when she gets bored, or maybe she wants somebody to drive her around. And I'm sure that that's not lost on him. So I think what is coming off as a nag and being absolutely annoying, because all that honey, baby, honey worked my damn nerves, I think is actually his desperation to be seen by his wife. Michael don't want no parts of this shit. He said, I'm just trying to help. The same thing I've been trying to do for the last 3 months. Caroline said, no, it's been 2 months. He said, it feel like 6. Now Sergio comes stomping out the closet, but I'm the man of the house. You gonna prioritize me? Now, Sergio, wait a minute now. Yes, now, technically speaking, you are the man of the house. You the man in the house. But if you are not managing the responsibilities of the house, and not only are you not managing the responsibilities of the house, you are adding yourself to the list as another responsibility that needs to be managed, that kind of chips away at that man of the house title and the respect that it carries. Because a major part of you being the man of the house is that a lot of these things can be deferred to you, that you can run all this, you can take care of all this. I don't have to worry about it all the time. But if I have to be on top of the getting the house built, getting the house paid for, getting all the paperwork taken care of, like I'm on top of everything and you just on top of my nerve, it takes away from that whole I'm the man of the house zhuzh. And y'all are also in somebody else's house, so you ain't the man in this house. And that's what Caroline told him. Caroline said, hold on, player, we are living in somebody else's house that we have been in for months. And what you're not going to do is make that man feel like in his own house. He's telling Caroline, all I wanted is for you to include me, prioritize me, let me know what's going on. She said, I told you very clearly I was paying a bill and you kept asking me about packing my damn handbags. Leave me alone. Sergio went stomping off out. He tired of this shit. I'm going to tell you, keep your eye open because he already over there talking to his sister friend. So then we move on and we see Ayan and Lisa. They are going to get some sort of forensic dental testing where they're going to find out Ayan's age or approximate age by her teeth. She said she was born in a village in the middle of nowhere, so she didn't get a birth certificate until she got older. So she's not quite sure what her age is, and that's what they're going to find out. So all the ladies show up at this dentist office to watch her get these x-rays done so they can find out how old she is. And apparently there's this old beef between Old Money Caroline and Ayan where they're not sure who is older. Ayan must have been throwing her age in her face. Well, Old Money Caroline comes in looking at the x-rays and said, well, I'm not worried about her age. I'm worried about how many teeth she's missing. Why does she have so many teeth gone? And she's saying how when she was younger, growing up in whatever village she was from, that she had a tooth or 2 teeth that were bad, so her mom just pulled them out. And Caroline is in the confessional, I mean, just going in on the lady about no wonder she's so skinny. She probably can't chew her food. It all just falls out of the side of her mouth. And then she goes on to say, and I guess I never noticed it because she doesn't really smile around me like that. And then when she does, she has a way of hiding it. She kind of smiles to the side a little bit. I'm like, where did this come? Why is she going in on this lady like that? No wonder her daughter is the way that she is. The daughter acts just like her. Well, they didn't find out right then how old Ayan is. They said they have to send off the x-rays and they'll get the answers back. She said, well, I came here to find out how old you are, not to see you with all these missing teeth. Well, okay. And speaking of these people and their rude turn, we move on to Caroline Brooks' house. Fine, fit, fabulous, drunk Caroline. Well, she's at her house apparently planning something, I guess, for her son's birthday. She's asking her assistant, with her son sitting there, did they order everything that he wanted for his birthday? So Caroline is asking, well, what was the list? She asked the little boy, what was the list? This boy said, I don't know. Ask Kylie. Ask her to send it to you. Did you send the list to my mom? Who the hell are you talking to, little boy? He said, I told you to. Now, that's when Caroline spoke up and said, you can't tell her what to do. You can't tell her to do nothing. That's a grown lady. She don't work for you. And he and his little Richie Rich voice about, I don't care. Or you the care after I put this foot up your... And she said, I don't like that. Behave. Oh, no. You gonna have to put some bass in your voice and some fear in his heart. One thing I love as a kid, but one thing I cannot take is a disrespectful child. I just cannot do it. And you have to understand when you are raising a child, especially a disrespectful one, everybody don't think your child is as cute as you do. Everybody doesn't find that disrespectful talking to grown people all kind of way stuff amusing. And they're not going to always be a child. You're not raising a child. You're raising an adult. And you have to teach them how to be, how to behave, how to treat people in the real world. Ain't nobody gonna play with him. They go on to continue planning the party, and she tells the little boy, well, you send me the list and let mommy order everything for you. Just send it to mommy. Tell her to send it to you. That little boy wouldn't get shit. I'm trying to tell you, he would have a dry, empty table come that damn birthday. Because who are you talking to? She's talking about, well, Adam is in a mood right now. And she's in the confessional saying, he's just been acting out so much lately. And I've been talking to my friends about it. And all of them are saying it's his age or it's his lack of discipline. It's your passive parenting. And it's probably also the example you're setting because you ain't the nicest damn person. You go to every event talking shit, starting shit. So I'm not surprised that you have a child who is reflecting a similar attitude. There's a sense of entitlement, a lack of respect, no regard for adults. You got a whole lot going on. This ain't got nothing to do with age. It has to do with upbringing or lack thereof. And rather than trying to correct him truly, sincerely, she's, oh, well, you want to cuddle? And no. Why are you acting so big? Because you let him. Because you reinforce this shit. Because you do not correct this shit. That's why. And they're talking and laughing amongst themselves, her and the assistant, about how he's just been acting up so much. And, he's saying he doesn't like girls. Oh my God, have you been talking to Kylie about liking girls? And no, that's a lie. This little boy goes to pick up the pillow and throw it at the lady. And don't you throw that at her. Don't do that to her. He threw the pillow at his damn mama and said, no. That's a no. This little boy is more than halfway to grown. And you talking to him like a toddler about some damn no. It would be a new day when he wake up after I take my foot out of his ass. Now, I ain't encouraging y'all to beat your churn down. I'm not telling you to beat your churn down. I'm just saying, be a strong hand of discipline. And that don't mean you got to mollywop them all the time. But you got to let them know that there's some sort of discipline, authority, rules, something that they got to respect. And Caroline is saying in the confessional that when she divorced, she became a full-time single parent and the primary provider for her child. She said that the contract that she has with her ex-husband essentially says that she gets nothing. So she has to be the provider. She has to work very hard to give her son this lifestyle. And the producer asked her, well, do you deal with mom guilt for having to work so much and, all those things? And she said, absolutely, all the time. That's why we just came back from the Maldives. I flew his entire friend group out. That's the problem. You're buying your child rather than raising your child. You want to give him all these things, all these tangible things, while you neglect all of the intangible things that need to be instilled and honed in him. You need to work on who he is as a person, as a human being. We live in a world that is so focused on finances and material things and everything that glitters that we forget the things that matter. What happened to raising your child to be a good person? What happened to introducing your child to God? What happened to a hierarchy of family? What happened to instilling respect and morals and values? What happened to all that? Does that just go away because you have money and you can buy all the things and you can buy your child distractions to shut them up and keep them out of your face until they're not your responsibility anymore? And the thing is, people don't want anybody saying anything about anybody's children. And I don't want nobody to talk about my child. I don't want to talk about nobody's child. But somebody has to say something when being a paymaster becomes the replacement for being a parent. When you just buy your way out of all of the responsibility of shaping a person, because that's what parenthood is. It's not just, I got to find this person a place to stay. I got to make sure they got some food. I got to put some clothes on their back, maybe some nice clothes, make sure they look decent and presentable to the world. Why absolutely ignore them emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and every way except physically and financially. She's expecting her mom to come visit soon, and she said this will be her mama problem. Her mama will have the answer. Let her figure it out. And we see her FaceTime her mom to say, your grandson has just been a handful lately. He's terrible. And he's just a preteen, and y'all will get over that, and he gonna be your best friend eventually. No, y'all need to check the character of who you're raising, because I'm telling you that that y'all think is cute is going to be problematic in just a few years. Then she goes on to, well, me and Caroline Stanbury have been fighting a little bit, and I know you really like her and you really like Sergio. And the mom is, oh no, why y'all been fighting? Because your daughter is picking the fight, but I'm gonna let her tell it her way. So we move on. We see Sarah going on a BFF date with her best friend, who's also her business partner. It's on this date that we find out part of the reason she ain't been halfway paying attention to the guy Talene is trying to hook her up with is she met a finance man in Germany who she be talking to, and he be coming to Dubai to see her sometimes. And then we move on and see that Sergio and Caroline are finally moving into their new house. She said now they and her children get to all be under one roof together again, because the children did not want to move in with Michael. And I'm glad they didn't. Child, I don't know if y'all could have handled that. Y'all could barely handle the two of y'all being in that man's house. I know y'all would have told shit Being in the new house brought everybody new joy because Sergio said he wanted to apologize for the way that he reacted to Michael on that last day, week, whenever they were at his house acting a damn fool. He said he didn't realize the amount of stress he was under and the amount of anger that he was holding in. We cut over to Talene's house, and for some reason, every time we go to Talene's house, the conversation is about how rich she is and how much help she has and how much she doesn't have to do for her life because her kids are crying. They want some cookies. She calling somebody to bring coloring books, talking about how she doesn't know her way around the kitchen, not because she doesn't want to, just because they have a hired chef. You know, that's just the way of life in Dubai, that they have a chef and a driver and a nanny, and you just can't get that kind of help in the States. I said, what states are you from? I see and hear of people all the time who have chefs and nannies and drivers and property managers and all sorts of other things. Now, is it going to cost you a pretty penny? Yeah, but I thought the people in Dubai had the pretty penny to spend, so I didn't know it would be that big a difference. Is it that much more expensive in the States? Now, while Talene is in the house just being rich, she decided she wants to explore her kitchen. I don't know what she's going in there trying to stir up. The husband telling her she's a complete disaster, but apparently it turns him on. He think it's cute. Well, they in there bonding about, well, how was guys' night? Apparently all the husbands got together, and he said it was good. Yeah, Sergio decided to get some shit off his chest. Sergio was confiding in the guys and looking for advice about how to deal with a partner whose children do not respect you. He was saying that he has a really hard time with Caroline's kids and how they talk to him. And Talene's husband said, listen, we tried to help him, but we don't have a lot of experience with raising children that are not our own. We all have our own families. And on top of that, another issue is that Sergio is closer in age to Caroline's children than he is to Caroline. So the children are going to respect him, but they respect him like a friend, not like a parent. And Talene brought up how Caroline's daughter was talking to Sergio at that get the hell out my house party. She said that man had tears in his eyes. She said, I really think it's a lot and I think it's hitting him. He's probably overwhelmed because it's one thing to be in love with a person and envision this life together and be willing to take on some of the things that may come with them. But it is a different thing to endure disrespect and abuse in the name of trying to love someone. You can't have these children who are going to openly demean and disrespect your partner and then expect your partner to say, oh, well, I committed. This is what I signed up for. We're a family. No, apparently I'm the family punching bag, and that ain't cool. It would be different if this were a problematic man, an abusive man, a disrespectful man, if he was treating their mama all kind of way and they weren't going for it. But just because you think he's demure, because you think he's an easy target, because maybe he's the topic of your inner family conversation, y'all think you can just treat this man any kind of way? And really, it's an abuse of love. It's this idea that somebody who loves you is weak. And because they're weak, you can kick them around and treat them any kind of way. So then we move on to a gathering that Ayan is hosting where she has all the ladies come in black ball gowns and tiaras. Girl, for what? She's hosting this dinner at the same location where they had the Beyonce concert, and she picked the location so that the girls could be in the VVVIP that they didn't get the experience that she did. Girl, get a life. It's over. I don't know what the purpose of this dinner is because they just sitting there with these damn ball gowns and tiaras on, just talking about what's going on in their day-to-day life. Lisa's mama just left. She went back to America. She ain't sure if she coming to Dubai permanently. Caroline is telling them, yeah, we just moved in our house. Why the hell y'all got on tiaras to talk about this shit? Ayan took the opportunity to point out that she thinks that there's still something going on between the two Carolines. And they're both, no, we're good. We're good. Well, they're not willing to acknowledge their issue. So they get into talking about Sarah and how she's dating the cute black guy from Germany. And they all, oh, well, we have to check him out. Mind y'all damn business. But she said he'll be there in just a few days and he'll get to meet the girls and they'll get to say what they think. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have no bunch of friends, but I'm just not that whole, let me take this man and run him by all my girlfriends. I don't believe in that shit thing. Now, it's one thing to introduce them, to say, well, this is my friend group. I'd like you to meet them because you're going to be in my life, they in my life, and y'all need to know each other. It's one thing for them to meet your guy friend and say, hey, we your friends, so I'm going to just tell you, I see some red flags flying. I think you need to check them motherfuckers out. That's one thing. But to just, you have to bring him and we have to give our approval. You have to mind your business. So they do some round table of affirmations where they're all telling each other why they think they're queens. And apparently that's the whole reason she planned this dinner. Y'all need to find something to do. Well, they get around to Talene, and Talene picks Caroline Stanbury to tell why she's a queen. And she's talking about how she feels like she's a role model, and especially because she went from being in a long marriage with children to being divorced and buying her own home and choosing herself, and she's raised these incredible children, so she's this really incredible woman. Lisa off to the side looking like, I know your ass is lying. She's in the confessional laughing about, yeah, I guess she's a role model to 50-year-old influencers. Why do people can't be influencing at 50? What is that to say? She said, I wish y'all would pan to Brooke's face so we could see how Brooks look, because you know Brooks ain't going for that because Talene is supposed to be her BFF, and she's sitting up here singing her damn arch nemesis praises. And then Talene takes it a step further. She asked Caroline to come off to the side and talk to her. They looking like, I know your ass is lying. Oh, what kind of best friends y'all supposed to be now? Well, Talene tells Caroline off to the side and listen, I wanted to address something with you, but I didn't want to bring it up in front of all the girls. You know, I didn't want to be that kind of friend. Well, you know, the guys went out the other night, right? And Sergio was telling my husband, Rafi, some things about how he feels about your children being disrespectful. He feels like your children are quite disrespectful to him. So I was just wondering, are you and Sergio okay? How about hell no? But of course she said, yes, we're okay. We're really okay. Talene said, well, I just want you to have that conversation with them. Yeah, there's a whole lot of conversations y'all need to be having that ain't being had. Talene is saying to her, you know, I can just tell that he's very hurt. And Caroline is saying, well, what's going on with her children is they just want to push boundaries. He's not their father, and he's in this position, in this role in their life where he's somewhere between a father role and a big brother role, and it's just difficult. And she goes on to explain that she and her daughter both have a very dry sense of humor. But she's explained to her daughter that jokes that she makes, that Caroline makes about Sergio, are not appropriate for her daughter to make. Well, how about you set a better example? Because if you are always calling the man a clingy puppy, that explains why your daughter is calling him a clingy puppy. If you think it's okay to say any mean girl thing to anybody out of your face, that explains why your daughter thinks it's okay to say any mean girl thing to anybody out of her face. You can't lead from this do as I say, not as I do bullshit about what I can do it. I might make jokes about him. I might talk about him like a dog, but you can't. You've not even given them an example to follow of how to treat him, because all we know is what you do. So we treat him like you treat him. And she goes on to say Sergio also needs to understand that Yasmin is just a 17-year-old girl. And she's saying in the confessional that she doesn't like that somebody she just met is who's coming to her telling her this, and she's more upset that Sergio would be discussing her private business with someone that she just met. Well, ma'am, if he could talk to you and be taken seriously by you, maybe he would. Maybe he wouldn't be talking to Sarah and Talene and anybody else who'll listen, because you do dismiss him like an unwanted child. She said, but she does appreciate that Talene is concerned enough to bring this to her, and that she was kind and respectful enough to not bring it to her in front of the group. Talene is telling Caroline that I really think everything is just hitting him now. And Caroline said, I'm sure it is. I met him when he was 24 years old. He went from being footloose and fancy free, not having a care in the world, to being a married father of 3. Well, ma'am, if you know that, if you know you met this man fresh into adulthood and you dragged him into your very established life with your damn near grown children, why is there not any grace or leeway? Why is there no give for him adjusting to this life? Talene nosy as hell. Talene goes on to ask the lady, do you think he regrets that? Caroline said, regrets what? Getting married? She said, I mean, I don't know. He never said it, but I have made it very clear to him that I don't want him to stay anywhere with me out of obligation. Do not stay here because you feel like you have to stay here. She said, I've told him if at any point you come to the realization that you made the wrong decision by being with me, the door is open. Talene said in the confessional, wait a minute, now you mean to tell me she just married this man sometime last year and you already ready to just let him go? The door is wide open? Yeah, that's because I don't think she married him because she loved him or she wanted a life partner. I think he's an accessory. They hash that out. They go back to the table where a fight is waiting on them. The ladies want to know, why did y'all leave us? Why y'all get to be the best of friends? What did y'all have to go talk about? Y'all talking about us? The next thing you know, Talene and Lisa arguing because Lisa is asking, well, why did y'all have to go all the way over there to talk? Talene said it was out of respect. Damn. Lisa said, okay, well, point made, move on. Talene said, you move on. Lisa said, I have moved on. Talene said, hold on, I ain't gonna be too many bitches around here. Lisa is going off, yeah, I called you a bitch because I told you acting bitchy when we asked why y'all had to go over there. Listen, now I understand that even in basic social circumstances, it is uncomfortable for two people to get up from the table, walk away, have a private conversation, and then come back to the group, don't tell y'all nothing. You don't know what's going on, who y'all talk about, what's the problem. But another part of the problem is there are so many underlying beefs, so many things being said and done behind people's backs that nobody knows who to trust. And that's why when you see, especially two people who were meant to be enemies, come together and not only are they getting along, but now they off to the side having private conversations. Now we got to find out if these used to be enemies are now our common enemies. But all in all, I agree with Sarah and Talene when they said Lisa is overreacting. Why are you cursing somebody else out because they won't tell you their business is beyond me. Once they came back to that table and said, we don't want to talk about what we were talking about, it's a private matter, I pulled her aside out of respect, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, that's when you should have let it go. But cursing somebody out, carrying on, you being a bitch because you don't want to tell us what y'all was talking about, that's too much. And the episode comes to an end with Lisa in the confessional explaining that part of the reason she's overreacting like this is because she feels where Brooks is coming from in terms of, I guess, being between friendships between Talene and Caroline. That she doesn't understand why Caroline and Talene would be going off to the side to have a private conversation, especially when Talene is supposed to be friends with Caroline Brooks and knows that Caroline Brooks has beef with Caroline Stanbury. Well, the thing is, if two people choose to resolve whatever negative energy, static, beef problems they got between them, that's between those two people. You can't ask people to wade in this toxic negative energy for your sake to prove their friendship to you. If I don't have a problem with this person or this person doesn't have a problem with me, I'm not going to create a problem or uphold a problem where there doesn't have to be one. We are grown people in a world full of problems. I don't need to make any extras. Child, but that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more for this episode. It looks like next week we're going to see Sarah going on her date with the fine man from Germany. And child, why her child going to be on the date asking the man, when are you going to be my stepdaddy? What in the hell? And it looks like Caroline might have taken Talene's conversation to heart because I think she's going to be trying to do some stuff to save her marriage. They might be talking to somebody about trying to have a baby child. I don't know. We'll see next week. But that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, you know I love you and I mean it. Bye.